Drop it.
Hello, what's going on? This is Aaron or a Toenail here, and I'm going to be talking to you about Vorago, the new boss announced on the latest behind the scenes. As you can see in this first picture, he's very, very big and very, very blue, which could be interesting. I think that's just a little animation thing that it showed. It's going to be located north of a Falador lodestone, so it's going to be easy to get back to, like the Califat. You can like die, get back, get your stuff within a minute, and you're back in. So it's like, yay. Possible cutscene upon entering this. It was hard to get a picture of this, but what it's showing is a range attack. He basically threw a massive rock and landed on the floor, and it's making a big crater, I think, or at least a big rock anyway. I presume this will cause a lot of damage, so you want to move out of the way of this. I think it's going to be a lot like the let's go, the troll invasion, when you have a range and spin around and throw a rock, and then you have a certain amount of time to move out of the way before it lands on you. I think it's going to be a lot like that. And this picture is quite interesting because it shows two people using melee, and one has Divine Spirit Shield. If you can't tell, then that's right over here. And to be honest, considering he's wearing a Divine and protecting melee, that is a pretty hefty hit. And this guy's just going full out dual attacks, so unless he's feeling a bit suicidal. He is wearing Tora as well, but this guy's wearing Tetsu, for God's sake. He's still getting hit that much. Quite interesting now as two people tanking, if you will, because this guy's in full superior Tetsu plus a Divine plus protecting melee, and he's still getting hit for 130. Just wow, you're going to take a lot of damage, especially if you're tanking. In here, again, it's hard to get a picture of some of this stuff, but Vorago was previously over here, where he sort of jumped up and now he's landing on somebody, or so it would seem. Get a bit closer. So that could again be similar to the troll invasion thing where you have to dodge out of the way, because this looks like it is going to hurt. This one's quite interesting because for the first time like ever in Runescape you can interact with a boss a bit more, in the sense that you can climb onto his back. Now, previously it shows him jumping across the thing, which I personally think there will be an agility requirement for, like, let's say 80 or something, because it is quite a high level boss. And then there's a guy actually on his back climbing up to do some sort of critical, it would seem. It reminds me of Lord of the Rings Conquest, where you'd climb up onto a troll's and stab him in the face. It's a lovely thought. But again, Vorago doing his jump thing, and if you look at the floor, just wow, that looks crazy. If the floor just breaks underneath, and what happens to you? Because further on, the floor actually disappears completely. And this guy just chilling in reverse, he starts floating. He doesn't fall down or anything, so it is really weird. It'd be quite interesting to see what actually happens with that. Then again, with just another ranger tank, maybe a bit of a better angle, it either looks like a pine cone or a giant turd. So it's not very appealing, but I've literally just noticed this guy flying in the air. It looks like he's having a good time. The guy with dual Dragos doesn't seem to have died yet, but you know. This one's quite interesting because a Stone Devastator, it could be one of his minions, but the key thing about this picture is it has an ability, no, well, maybe not an ability bar, but it's using adrenaline. Kinda looks like it's wearing Tora, so it's got webbed feet, I don't know. So it could kind of replicate somebody, I don't know. And also, just zoom in here, this appears to be the runes for Bloodfire Barrage on Ancients, which could indicate that it's weak to fire spells. And it also indicates that it has several phases, because as you can see he's using Mage, and he also has a Chaotic Crossbow switch in his inventory. I'm not entirely sure what this thing is, but yeah. There's quite a lot to be said in that picture, and this big blue ball looks kinda funky. And just look at his image self, I mean, come on. What kind of noob doesn't use prayer renewals? Another key picture, because sorry for all zooming in, but zooming again, you can actually see the minimap on this one. It's quite a small area. It's like 2 God Wars rooms, if that. So it'll be interesting to see how the mechanics work, and you can't really... It's really hard to tell the symbols, but there could be an agility shortcut symbol to climb on his back. I really don't know. If you've not seen me behind the scenes, then this might be a little bit new, but if you have, then this is the build up to the big KO attack, because he has near full health, and then, as you see now, he just dies instantly. And you can tell it's going to happen, because it seems to be like leaking blood or rust or just glowing red in general. Everybody's sort of hugging the wall. It might be a specific area, or it might just be the wall in general, but it's a better picture. You seem to dodge it if you hug the wall. So it means that it's not going to be moving whilst it's like charging the energy. It's like the charge attack, the magic threshold, whatever it's called. Just realised now this could actually be that attack, because it on the actual video it shows him doing this for a couple of seconds, just like breathing in and out up and down. So he's obviously building up some sort of special attack, and as you can see, everybody's panic eating. Like, these people are, you can't really see it. These people are already almost full health, and they're eating up. So this might be something to look out for. Now everybody's in really fancy gear as well, and as you can see here, this is the very sexy tectonic armor, which is of course the level 90 mage gear that's coming out with Vorago. It's quite interesting how it's got like a crystal structure on the outside of the thing, and it's quite strange how it's got chains, but I suppose that's just to hold it all together. And this is a seismic singularity. It's basically the offhand orb that comes with the wand, which you should see now. It's huge on the concept art. I had to take 2 screens. This is a bottom half and that's top half. And this is some guy wearing it in full. And there's also an even rarer drop, apparently. And that is, of course, this little thing here, which is a pet. What's really interesting about this picture as well is the question of, is tectonic armor tank gear or DPS gear? If you look over here, you can see he's like, what, 40% health, and he's already on 4.1k. But just a rough estimation, I would say that the total HP given from this armor without a shield is around 10 to 12k, which is pretty damn good, to be honest. It's quite interesting when it's level 240 as well. Just 240, that is huge in comparison. I think what next is 220, Corporal Beast is 210, so wow. So I'll just give you this picture in the background, and I'll go over some additional information that I've found out via forums and actually watching it behind the scenes. And what's interesting is the tactics change every week of a month. So it's basically 4 different bosses. That's going to be quite interesting to see how that plays out. And obviously if you're not tanking, then you've got to pray mage. It's hard to say what it's actually going to be weak to, because they probably did this on purpose. There were people in mage range Amelie. I'll see if I can find a picture now. Yeah, just look at that. You've got dual Dragos, full Virtus, whatever, range, etc, etc. Mod Chrisel also said that he said that was going to be massive damage output as well. So again, I really don't know what's going to happen there. All these things I'm going to quote or say are going to be from Mod Chrisel, just save me saying it over and over. But he said that with more people, that Vorago actually adapts to group size, so the more people there are, the harder a fight's going to be. So if you actually cap out the instance with 50 people, then you're going to have a bad time. There's also a quote from the forums, probably relating to the 50k hit that you have to survive, saying that, he says, I quote, "That said, you can't walk directly into it like the Queen Black Dragon, for example. There is something you have to do to be worthy of its attention." 100% certain that it's going to be referring to a 50k hit that you have to survive. And whether that's going to be spread across the group or blockable by Resonance, Barricade or Immortal or something, then I don't know. Also, there's another interesting point to pick up from the forums area. This isn't concrete. Like, the typical loot system might not be in place for Vorago. You might be thinking, what the hell am I on about? But you might not be able to loot share, coin share, or just get a drop by yourself. Mod Grisel says, "I can't go into specifics, but I'm currently playing around with a different way of obtaining drops from it. Sort of traditional, but with a spin." And he also goes on to say that free-for-all groups would be much more interesting, to say the least, and it would weed out the unworthy as it progresses, like people who get drops and just run off. It'll be quite interesting to see how that pans out as well. And he goes on to say about the use of a HTML5 camera would help to go full awesome at some point of the fight, which also indicates towards several stages of a fight, as previously with the mage and range switch. Or, to be honest, the range switch might just be for some minions I might spawn, like the Concrete Devastator, was it called? Something like that. Anyway, that just about covers the video, so comment what you think, and obviously the clan's still open for applications. I'll link in the description along with the forum where I gained most of my forum information, and if you're not subscribed already, be sure to do so. And obviously like the video if you want.